all across America and around the world. This is Veterans Radio. This is Veterans Radio.
Welcome to Veterans Radio. I am Jim Fausone. I'm the officer of the deck today. We've got some great programs for you. We always want to remind you can find more about Veterans Radio at its Facebook site or at the web, veteransradio.org, where we're on the web 24/7. You can find a lot of our podcasts there as well. We post new ones every Tuesday, so you can get a new story, a new interview, something you didn't know before by going to veteransradio.org. And before we get started, we want to thank our sponsors. First up, we want to thank National Veteran Business Development Council, nvbdc.org. It was established to certify both service-disabled and veteran-owned businesses. You'll find out how they can help your business by going to nvbdc.org. We want to thank Legal Help for Veterans. Legal Help for Veterans fights for veterans' disability rights all across the nation. You can reach them at 800-693-4800 or on the web at legalhelpforveterans.com. And finally, PuroClean. PuroClean is the paramedics of property damage. It provides water damage remediation, flood water removal, fire and smoke damage remediation, mold removal, biohazard cleanup. It also has a focus on veteran franchisees. You can learn more about them by going to puroclean.com. We want to welcome to Veterans Radio today a couple of board members of Folds of Honor Motor City chapter. This is going to be a discussion about what Folds of Honor is and does and what they're doing in the state of Michigan in particular. With these board members in an upcoming event that they've got. But let me start with get some introductions here. John Pelletier is a member of the board. He served in the Air Force for, it looks like 7-8 years. John, welcome to Veterans Radio.
Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate it, and thank you for having us on.
Oh, we're glad to. And Bill Flohr is he's got the fancy title. He's the Regional Impact Officer, and we'll have him explain what all that means later. But Bill, welcome to Veterans Radio.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, I'll let either one of you take this first thing. I think most people who are listening to Veterans Radio are veterans and friends, and that probably have heard of Folds of Honor because it's a big national organization. But why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so again, thanks a lot. But so it was started right here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, 2007, when our founder, Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney, was coming back from his second tour of duty and was on a flight with, unfortunately, a fallen soldier and decided that he wanted to do something, had a small golf event up in Grand Haven called the Grand Haven Golf Club, raised a little bit of money, but for the family, and then decided that to create Folds of Honor. And what Folds of Honor does is provide educational scholarships to families of wounded and fallen veterans, as well as first responders. So, and then, look, about, 15 years later or so, we now have the American Dunes Golf Course up in Grand Haven, which all the proceeds and profit from that golf course go right into our scholarship program. And in this, just after this year, we have donated over 62,000 scholarships, totaling over about $296 million.
Well, and Folds of Honor is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Tell me about let's do this, because I made fun of you to begin with, Bill. What is the Regional Impact Officer? Are you the guys who go around and punch people if they don't contribute?
Exactly. Yeah. So, if they don't support our mission, we go around, slashing tires.
Strong arm.
Like yeah. No, so I handle the state of Michigan for the Folds of Honor, and I work closely with the Motor City chapter, as well as the Michigan chapter and American Dunes up in Grand Haven. So I'm just support for all of them. And I'm really a conduit between them and the contacts with a lot of our corporate partners and fundraising efforts all over the state.
It's really an amazing number. If you said it, I want to slow down and say it again because it's so amazing. 62,000 scholarships.
Yes.
Over $290 million in all 50 states.
Yep.
Talk to us about the students who get these scholarships. That's a whole lot of kids.
It is an amazing amount of kids, and we continue to grow really every year. And so we handed out in 2024, like just the end of this past year, 11,000 scholarships, but we still had 8,000 applicants that we could not fill. I mean, that's how much we're growing. And so these students are all, they can be the children, they can also be the spouses of a fallen or wounded vet or first responder. So it's really, there's no better way than to help a family than just to provide an educational experience. And that's exactly what we do.
And tell us a little bit maybe about this is scholarship educational support in a whole lot of directions. We're not just talking, hey, if you go to an Ivy League college, we'll help fund it, is it?
No, definitely not. No, it's trade schools. It's private education for
elementary.
Yep, all the way down. It's Michigan State. It's Lawrence Tech. It's it's really any school that the child or spouse chooses.
One of the other things that I was sort of surprised at is the makeup of the scholarship recipients, which I think is something to brag a little bit about. So can you talk about that some?
Yeah, so like you said, there's 45% of our recipients are minority based. So, we're very diverse, just like the country we live in, right? And out of every dollar, 91 cents goes into that scholarship program. So we're very high rated as far as the charity is concerned, but we're incredibly diverse. When you look at the military, the first responders, there's not a single person that talk about race or anything like that. But we're so diverse inside of all those units. That's exactly the way our country is, and that's exactly the way our organization is as well.
Exactly. It mirrors what the society is and what the our base is with the military.
And I think it's John mentioned, I think at the outset that you spent about 8 years in the Air Force and Air National Guard, so I kind of know where you're coming from maybe in getting involved in this. But explain to us, why did you get involved?
Sure. As I'd mentioned to you prior to the call, I had worked at a company in Canton, and we have a gentleman who is our president, Russ Bruner, he's a great patriot, and he just felt there was a need to do something around here. There really wasn't that much presence for this type of organization. So he had rounded up a few friends and kind of was kicking around the idea, made a few calls to Folds of Honor. They had said, well, here, just have a golf outing for us, which is a very common thing. And maybe you'll raise $5,000 or such. Well, we ended up raising about $35,000 that first year. And my boss was a former Marine, and he had mentioned to Russ that I would probably be a good candidate with the number of contacts I have, as well as my military experience. So he'd asked me to join the board too. So that all started in 2017 from the very get-go. And since then, we have raised multi-millions of dollars with our board. So we've really progressed through the tough times. It's kind of tight right now. We're really struggling for sponsorships, which is one of the reasons we're really trying to hit the pavement this time of year while budgets are being created. So, in a nutshell, that's what I'd done. I'm a huge fan of the military. My dad was a loadmaster, a 24-year Air Force veteran, retired E9. I followed in his footsteps, and here we are today, is still supporting our military men and women and first responders now.
Well, let's face it, your dad is a loadmaster. He knew how to pack the station wagon for vacations, didn't he?
You would not believe. Absolutely. Absolutely, he did.
And so John was voluntold to get involved in this organization and dove deep into it and is doing a great job. Bill, how did you get involved?
Well, John actually got me involved. So I was a baseball coach for a long time at Northville High School. We would do Armed Forces days there, where we would just teach our players and stuff about the sacrifices of so many that allow them to play high school baseball and be free, and started raising some pretty good money. We had a concert in downtown Northville that raised about 40 grand for homes for our troops. And John got wind of it because I was working at Staples at the time, and John was a customer. And they brought me in, started talking about Folds of Honor and what I did on the side. And John's like, "Hey, would you consider picking Folds of Honor?" And I'm like, "Sure." So we had another event downtown Northville with the Killer Flamingos, raised about another 45 grand, I think, for Folds of Honor. And then all of a sudden, they were asking me to join their board. And like I've always had a great passion for the military, and being in baseball, we went out to San Diego and saw how much the Padres were part of the the naval community out there, and we wanted to do that here. So we did, and it's been a huge part of my life, that's for sure.
He's a little bit humble, Jim. If you see his basement, he is a World War II aficionado. And that's kind of what one of the events he put on in Northville High School. He had displays out front of Northville High School, and it was humbling. It was very humbling. And he is a true patriot, and he does a ton for pretty much for everybody.
Well, I really think it's important that our youth get educated, if you will, on the value of the military. So few people serve, right? And so often it's a family tradition. Your dad did it, my dad did it, I did it, my wife did it, sort of thing. But there's just too many people who go through life in this country without realizing the sacrifices that have to be made to protect our freedoms. And as you say, they can't be playing baseball free of any worries unless there was a military protecting those freedoms and liberties. So this is a great melding of Bill's athletic experiences, educational experiences, and military concerns or military knowledge. So, Bill, that explains why you're the regional impact officer, and that also explains that you probably have a baseball bat in your trunk.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Back to my original thought of what the regional impact officer was doing. So,
right.
One of the things that has expanded over time is the families that are eligible for these scholarships. Goes beyond just military members nowadays, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. Again, in 2022, on September 11th, our CEO, Lieutenant Colonel Rooney, had made the announcement that we were going to start supporting first responders, including the police, the fire, and EMS. Just for the simple fact that they do the same type of mission, only internally in the U.S., providing that blanket of safety and support for medical situations and fire whenever called upon, 24/7, so 365. So that need was great. There's they have fallen officers. We've unfortunately seen that grow at certain times. So the support there is needed. We're trying to get that message out to many of the different units, and we've had a lot of good luck with the folks up in the Linden area. They've got the fire department very involved, and we've got a few of the honor guards here that we have at all of our events, our golf event in September, and then our gala again in March, which is kind of the repetition that we've been using each year. So yeah, they definitely need the support. There is that need, and we are here to help fulfill it.
One of the things that I guess I wanted to get across, because this interview will be heard all across the country, is Talk to us, and Bill, maybe you're the best spot to do it. Folds of Honor is a national charity, isn't it?
100%. Yes, sir. Yeah. So we're in 35 states right now. So we have 35 chapters. We've got 5 more that's should be up and running in a couple months here. So we'll be at 40. So we have multiple, obviously, in the state of Michigan. But so Lieutenant Colonel Rooney is based out of Tulsa. So that's where our national is located. But yeah, basically every state, pretty close, you should be able to find a Folds of Honor chapter.
Well, let's talk about how folks can go online and learn more about Folds of Honor and see if there's something in their state, or see if there's a way for them to be in touch. So where would they go to do that, John?
Well, we've got regional, each different Folds of Honor chapter has their own website and contact points and information regarding what their events are, as well as the National Folds of Honor webpage. So you can even the Folds of Honor is foldsofhonormotorcity.org. And they can reach out and take a look on our website, and we try to keep that updated with our events. We've got swag that we try to sell. We go to different events that support our cause, like the golf show and different car events, and just wherever we see a kind of a good fit, we try to attend those events. So mainly we are on all social medias. We've got a big presence on Facebook. We've got a presence on Instagram as well. So we can also be found just by using the search engine and going on there and looking for Folds of Honor Motor City or Folds of Honor org. And Folds of Honor National lists all of the chapter locations. So that's a good place to see if they're represented. There's one in Toledo. So if your bandwidth spreads down to Toledo, those people will know about it. The Motor City, and then again in Grand Haven or Grand Rapids. So that's 3 within this region that are available for the people to focus their attention on and look for opportunities for scholarship applications.
Yeah.
And you'll also see. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there, but you'll also see our logo on so many products out there. Budweiser is obviously our biggest supporter. They've donated over $23 million since we've started. So you'll see our logo every summer on Budweiser and on their trucks all over the United States. But Budweiser and pretzels, ketchup, Red Gold ketchup, and Coca-Cola. I mean, you'll see our folded flag with the Folds of Honor written right underneath it on so many products across the nation.
Yeah, I want to direct people to foldsofhonor.org, the national. There's
Yes.
Up on the banner, there's chapters, and there's 3 in Texas, for example. There's 3 in Florida, a couple in California. So they're really spread from looks like Boston to Southern California, really all across the state. I got to get the Pacific Northwest involved a little bit, and some other states. I suspect those are the ones that are being worked on. But you brought it up. I want to expand on this a little bit because you can't do this kind of work without significant support. You have a lot of corporate sponsors at the national level, and again, those are listed on the national side. Who are your sponsors? Who are on the corporate side is helping Folds of Honor Motor City?
Yeah, so you're so right. We could not do this without any partner, corporate or personal private partner. But so like locally in Motor City, Lineage Logistics is a very huge partner. McDermott, Coppercraft. We're coming out with a new Folds of Honor whiskey that's I probably shouldn't have said that because I'm spilling the beans, but it's coming out this summer.
Where's your bat?
Yeah, a little advance. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, in Michigan. But like Jacob Matthew Jewelers, Allied Insurance, Panasonic Automotive is huge. EOTech, Kendra Scott, Vet Tech. And then, coming on board soon is Meyer. I mean, I think people in Michigan know Meyer a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as well as Spartan Nash grocery stores. You're going to see a lot of stuff in 2025 in both of those retail outlets. They're just unbelievably patriotic, but community oriented as well.
Well, those kind of corporate partners are really what help so many charities do good work, and you guys are doing good work. You're very highly rated by Charity Navigator and GuideStar. So, from somebody who's thinking about, well, if I make a donation, is it going to the right place? How much of it's going to really the scholarship work versus promoting the organization? So you can look them up there too. But you got to have corporate support, but you also have the individual support because that's where volunteers come from, and that's
Well,
what.
so that's funny you say that because we don't have a ton of paid employees like John here and Russ and all of our board members. They're all volunteers. They are all volunteers, and being in Motor City, you know how Detroit is, man. Everybody wants to give and help, and we're looking for those motor partners, the Fords and GMs, and all those tier ones to hop on board with all of our volunteers with corporate sponsorship as well as their veteran giving and cause marketing that they have. But so many volunteers and that's why we're so good at the Gold Star. 91 cents is our rating. It's just unbelievable.
Not the overhead. Yeah. Just minimal overhead.
Yeah.
And where I'm trying to go is you got to get the individuals out, and one way to get individuals out is their participation in a couple of your signature events. And you have a signature event coming up in March of 2025.
Yes,
one of you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, so it's our gala that we do. It's right at St. John's, which is absolutely just one of the most beautiful resorts, like in Plymouth, Michigan. It's great, and they're really great partners. But it's our red, white, and blue gala. It's March 15th, right at St. John's. We'll have probably about 350 people in there, and it's just great to learn about our mission. You'll hear stories of our recipients. There's a ton of military and veterans that attend. Rich Luderman is our MC. He's been from day one, and this will be our fifth one this year. Our fifth one so far. And Rich, all I do is I call Rich, and he's like, "Yep, I'm in," because he's an Air Force veteran himself. But he's our MC, and it's just an unbelievable patriotic night.
Rich Luderman, I love the general, and I worked with him many times. But I got to tell this little story. He is a local weatherman. He was a meteorologist in the Air Force.
Yes.
He was stationed in Hawaii. I said, Rich, that's got to be the best job in the Air Force. He goes, oh, absolutely. You got up every day and said, it's sunny, chance of rain, and then it's going to be breezy, and then it's going to be sunny, and that was it. You're done. It's the same forecast every day. So Rich Luderman is a great patriot, so that's a great person to have at your Red, White, and Blue Gala on March 15th of 2025 at the Inn at St. John's. If people are interested in attending or supporting Folds of Honor Motor City, John, what's the best way for them to do that?
Go to our website, our Motor City website, and there is a link on there to One Cause. And One Cause is basically our platform that we use for the ticket sales and merchandise, any type of financial functions that we try to we route them through that One Cause. And or you could reach out to Bill Flohr. Bill's address or email address is bflohr, FLOHR, at foldsofhonor.org. And Bill is he fields a lot of those calls, especially from some of the higher level sponsorships. But go to that location, you'll see that information on there. We try to keep it on our Facebook page as well, and it will take you right to ticket sales. It will also provide opportunities for sponsorships on there as well. So that's one of the main things that we're looking for. We generally get a decent number of individuals, but we're always pounding the pavement looking for additional sponsors. And I think that's a repetitive theme you've heard here today.
Absolutely. That's why we like to give you an opportunity to talk about those corporate sponsors, because they're so important to an organization.
Well, for sure.
I want to thank both John Pelletier and Bill Flohr with Folds of Honor Motor City and Folds of Honor Michigan for educating us a little bit about the great work that they're doing in providing scholarships to those spouses and children of fallen military members and also the first responders. You guys are doing great work. We wish you the best of luck on March 15th. And if we can continue to promote you both on social media and elsewhere, be assured we will do so.
Well, we greatly appreciate it, and we greatly appreciate your time, Jim. This has been a fantastic opportunity for us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, gentlemen. And I want to thank everybody for listening to Veterans Radio today. I am Jim Fausone. It's been a pleasure to be your host. I'm a veterans disability lawyer at Legal Help for Veterans. And you can reach us at 800-693-4800 or legalhelpforveterans.com on the web. You can follow Veterans Radio on Facebook and listen to its podcasts and internet radio shows by visiting us at veteransradio.org. That's veteransradio.org. We again want to thank our national sponsors, the National Veterans Business Development Council, nvbdc.org. Legal Help for Veterans, a veterans disability law firm with a national practice before the VA, can help you on your claims and your appeals. It can be reached at legalhelpforveterans.com or 1-800-693-4800. And PuroClean, a leader in property emergency services. It's the paramedics of property damage, providing water damage remediation, flood water removal, fire and smoke damage remediation, mold and biohazard cleanups. You can reach them at puroclean.com or 800-775-7876. We also want to thank our local sponsors. This would include the Charles S. Kettles chapter of the Vietnam Veterans of America, that's chapter 310. VFW Graf O'Hara Post 423, the American Legion Irwin Preskin Post 46 in Ann Arbor as well, the VA Ann Arbor Healthcare System, and certainly the National Vietnam Veterans of America Association. You can be a sponsor by going to veteransradio.org, clicking on the About Us and our sponsors, and help us out. Keep this program alive for the 21 and 22 years. Keep us going for another 20. Thank you.